Okay, so we're at Let's Golf today. I'm with Matthew James, Callaway staff, club fitter, ball fitter.
Yep.
You do equipment and product training.
Yeah.
Okay, so a new video here for the channel. Ball testing today. ChromeSoft 2018.
Yep.
Versus WARBIRD 2018.
Yep.
Versus ChromeSoft 2017.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So 17 being the ball that I've been using myself. WARBIRD being, your distance kind of ball, but a ball that, you might have in here just for the guys to hit when they're coming in. And really the difference being is we want to show you that between two very different golf balls, what performances we might see, and then what's the difference between the new variation of the golf ball that I'm using.
Okay. So, quite important for you viewers here that sometimes you just go into your shop or you go onto online and buy, a bag of golf balls, or you find a golf ball and say, I'll use that on the next hole.
Yeah.
We're talking now ball fitting and the difference between two different balls in your range.
Yep.
Totally different price points.
Totally different price points.
And how they're going to affect your ball flight, in particular, how the ball is launched.
Yep.
And how the ball is spin, characteristics of the golf ball. So I've got two cutouts you kindly brought today.
Yep.
So talk us through the two different cutouts here. I know we're testing ChromeSoft, but this is ChromeSoft X.
Yeah.
But just so we got something to show visually, and I'll take to the camera to show the viewer, what are we talking about here? What is the difference between ChromeSoft 2018 and 2017?
So the main difference is, and I suppose we should start at the beginning really. The ChromeSoft golf ball has always been renowned for having two cores, which you can see there by the two different colours. So starting with 2017 variation, you see it in the green colour. So you'll notice when compared to the new variation of that golf ball, how much bigger the central core is. Now, the reason why we have two cores for our golf balls is we want an inner core to be very, very active at high speeds. So what we mean by that is the outer core kind of gets compressed against it or as close to as feasible, and it gives us ball speed. So you think about your inner core for your driver, your woods, your long shots. The outer core then is there for spin, because we don't want that inner core to be as active. So we want the ball to actually be coming off a little bit slower, thus creating a little bit more friction.
Okay, so I can see some difference in here. You talked about some new materials.
Yeah.
What are the different materials that are now being used in the 2018
so
ChromeSoft?
Our outer core, as we would call it, is actually using an industry-leading material called graphene. Now, graphene a few years back won a Nobel Prize, and essentially the simple way to think about it is it's 10 times thinner than paper. So it's registered on the atomic scale as 1 atom thick, but it's the strongest material and the strongest compound known to man. So a way that it was visualized to us is if you imagine a football pitch covered in one layer of this, like a hammock. That hammock would weigh less than a cat's whisker.
Wow.
And
a cat's whisker?
A cat's whisker, not
a
dog's. You could put that cat then in the middle of that hammock essentially, and the hammock wouldn't move. So it's incredibly lightweight, but it's incredibly strong. So therefore, when we start building up layers and layers and layers and layers of it, as you see there in that outer core, we don't have to make it so thick. That gives us better spin separation between a driver and an iron. So essentially the sort of selling pitch, if you like, about it, is it spins when you want it to, i.e. your irons, your wedges, and it doesn't when you don't want it to with your driver.
Okay, excellent. So it's quite exciting actually. I mean, I've kind of cut balls open and found them broken and seen, but when you compare year on year, a lot of people say, oh, I've got the 2017, I carry on, it's the same ball. Looks the same.
Looks the same.
Dimples look the same, feels the same, all of that kind of stuff, but actually we know
they're very different. Yeah.
very, very different, and visually what we can see, and that's significantly different, the size of that there.
It is, yeah.
So that's quite incredible new material. Right, so we've got to get down to the nitty gritty. You're going to hit some shots, better wedge player than me, and your distance, which we hope at the weekend you're going to be going for 75 yards, yeah?
Try and get to 75 as best I can.
Your forged wedge,
Yep.
we're going to be hitting all 3 balls,
Yeah.
and then we're going to bring up the information and show the viewer here how different these balls are for them when they go, and then hopefully they can consider that we hope. And what we've done, and all of our my good players, I get them doing ball fits immediately.
Yeah.
And also the club golfer, and say, well, actually, maybe that isn't the right ball for you. It might be the most expensive, going to hurt your wallet the most. It's nice to say, well, I use a Chrome Soft, but actually the WARBIRD is going to be better for you because it's going to go straighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you know, there are other balls that we have in the range, and you know, it's always one of the first questions that I would ask in a fitting would be, what golf ball do you use? And I'll be honest, it upsets me when people don't say Callaway, obviously, because you know, I want people to be using our product as much as we can. But the biggest thing that upsets me is when people say, well, I just use what I find in my bag, or I use what I find on the golf course. And hopefully, using some of the shots that I might or might not hit, we can help people understand why that is.
Okay, so hitting time.
Hitting time.
Okay, so 75 yards, your forged wedge.
Or as best as I can.
2018 Chrome Soft, 2018 WARBIRD, 2017 Chrome Soft.
Yeah.
Tell us about the pillars that we always talk about in our videos. How is this different, and who is it going to affect the most?
Okay, so going, you know, from the point we just made there about, you know, people using a certain golf ball. Hopefully, what this video will do for players is show them that results can vary. Now, we're just using Callaway balls, and we're using essentially 2 different balls, if we like to think about it. You know, we're going to say it's 3, but essentially it's 2. Now, you could go into your bag and pick out, for one, a Titleist Pro V1. You then might use a Strixon AD33. You know, those sort of things I always see as a fitter, and I see that, you know, particularly when I was in retail. And this video hopefully is to highlight to people that I'm not that bothered about what kind of golf ball you use, but let's make sure it's consistent. Because you'll see here from the images and from the stats that we have, is they do perform differently, and I can get used to that. You know, and we've laughed and joked off camera that actually 75 yards shot is I'm pretty comfortable with it. So looking into the data, we've got the ball that I currently use in there at Chrome Soft. Now, you from a teaching perspective, when we talk about pitching, you want to see it around that sort of 30-degree corridor with as much spin as you can possibly get. So we can see down range, you know, I'm hitting 74 yards carry distance out of the 6 shots that I hit. When we compare that to the WARBIRD, although I still hit that same distance down range, I lose a little bit of spin, which is, you know, nearly 10%, but also launch the ball considerably higher. So I would almost argue that in certain situations like this is, you know, it's very contained, very controlled. If I'm starting to lose spin and I lose some friction through some either wet grass or some rough, that's going to be a recipe for disaster. I'm also launching it higher. So if I'm going to lose spin, launch it higher, and maybe I'm downwind, then again, that's a recipe for disaster, potentially. And okay, that's creating a scenario to kind of nitpick the data. But if I hit a pitch shot into the 3rd green, and then I lose that ball mid-round and I pitch a shot into the 15th green with a completely different ball, there's case there to say it's going to react differently.
And I mean, going on to spin, you know, if we was to reverse it back to the tee box, if you can give a golf ball that's going to spin it less, it's going to curve it less with the driver. So all of a sudden we change the price point. Somebody wants to pick up a £25 retail ball compared to, what is it, the WARBIRD, sort of 17, 18 pounds
18 quid,
box. So you're looking at picking up that ball thinking because you pay the most, you'll get the most or the best ball, where actually you're going to get a golf ball that curves the driver considerably more, because
Yep.
we're talking 10%
Yeah,
each way up the ladder here.
yeah.
So you want to hit it straighter, really.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
your WARBIRD out.
Yeah.
Take the spin off the golf ball. If you're struggling to get your driver up in the air, get your WARBIRD out,
Yeah.
launch the thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so it's, you know, it's when you look at a ball for certain shots, you know, it's making a change from tee to green, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really, with really what that type of golfer that this product's pitched at.
Yeah, and I used to, when I was in retail, you know, I would almost take 3 balls out onto a putting green as well, because people think, well, why would you fit a ball around putting? Well, if you blindfolded someone and they hit 3 putts with 3 completely different golf balls, they'll get a better sense of the sounds and the acoustics, which I believe link to feel.
Yes.
Because that's where feel comes from. It comes from the sounds. If you don't have that sound, or you don't have that visibility of what it is, then you haven't got any perception. So again, you know, if we change from a chrome soft ball that does sound very soft, has that soft feel, has that soft aesthetics, you know, all those sort of things that we're trying to dampen down the noise, and I'm putting with it for 9 holes, if I then switch it to a WARBIRD, which is going to be very loud, very clicky, you know, I'm going to putt differently as well. It doesn't just have an impact in one area. So, you know, ball fitting is something that personally I get quite passionate about, because it matters. You know, it's the one thing that you want to keep consistent in your golf.
Yeah. And it's ammunition, it's the consumable, it's what we are replacing, whether we're shedding it, as we saw with the new
With the new wedges,
or we're actually just banging it out of bounds into somebody's garden.
Absolutely.
So, you know, let's talk a little bit here then. So we've shown the difference between a chrome soft and a WARBIRD.
Yep.
So for 2018, we know the new ball and its new tech inside.
Yep.
Let's explain a little bit the difference then. How is 2017, you know, and 18 in comparison? Explain the data a little bit more.
So
What's happening?
I'm not surprised with some of that data, you know, and I've used the 17 ball now for, you know, the best part of 2 years. So going into the 18 golf ball, you know, we have got a much larger inner core, so I'm not surprised by seeing the ball speed go up. That doesn't surprise me at all. We have got that harder outer layer, so I'm not surprised by the spin going up.
Okay, so when you say larger core, then obviously that energy from the club colliding with the golf ball is getting into where it needs to, and having less effect on the possibly how the ball is changing.
It would just deform a little bit more. Obviously, the more collision essentially that you create, and the ball will essentially rebound back into its shape quicker. So it doesn't surprise me to see that there's more ball speed, and I would argue that, you know, being that it's the area of strength in my game, I could probably get used to that. But you can see there that actually having a little bit more ball speed has made me hit it a little bit further.
So you definitely have to adapt. So then, if you found one of them lying around, and you didn't know, because
and I didn't know, they look the same.
It was 2017, and you took it out on the next tee box, because you had shed the layer off the first one, off your 2018. All of a sudden, you've got a golf ball that's possibly hitting it 4 yards further on that 75 yard shot.
You know, and that might be, you know, if that's, I mean, what's the difference there? It's like 5%, right?
5%,
So if I did that 5% with a 7 iron, let's say, that I'm trying to pitch at 170, you know, that could be airmailing through the green from no explanation, really. So, you know, this is why, you know, I'd always sort of stress to people essentially that you've got to keep it the same.
Keep it the same. Get your fitting,
That's it.
buy your golf balls, make sure they're that model in your bag. If you find another golf ball, get rid of it.
Give it to your pal.
Practice
Absolutely,
bag,
stick in your practice bag.
Because you need to make sure consistency is there. You're using the same ball each time. Okay, so here then, difference maybe 2% lower.
Yeah, a little bit lower,
10% higher.
Yeah, which is a nice number, right?
Yep, nice number. So we're actually getting it almost through that corridor, we always say, the optimal kind of launch with the wedge. And then nice bit of spin to make it sort of go out, climb up. And that's going to land, and ultimately, because of that spin, with the wedge and its loft, we're not going to tilt it. We don't see much curve, if anything, with a wedge.
Not normally, no.
So we're going to actually see the ball land on the green, travel pretty straight, land on the green, and get a bit more zip with that 10% more spin.
You know, and again, you know, we're sort of dissecting it a little bit. This is with my wedge. You know, my wedge from the start of last year, and we've seen a difference again when we compared that to the new wedge. So maybe new ball coupled with new wedge, this spin number goes through the roof.
Oh yeah, we'll be seeing that spiking up to 10,000,
Yeah.
without a doubt. So, you know, you're getting that launch, getting that low set off, climbing it up, over last year's model, and then bringing it down beyond last year's model. So, a potential game changer then, just by switching ball. But obviously, just making sure that you go out and get your distance, maybe distance gap in. If you're going to change ball, go and get a gap in session with your pro.
With the
gap
pro,
in means that you're going to be measuring your distances on average with each of your shots, maybe your long and short on your average distance. And then you know then if you've got a little bit out of your new ball, whatever the switch is or whatever you're doing, that you've got it measured, so when you go on the golf course, you're not going to going for that tight pin at the back, airmail it over the back of the green into whatever's there. So I think a great video. I mean, I enjoy doing these videos with you. Your knowledge is second to none, really. And it's, you know, seeing this here and so many conversations I have when you're holding a little white ball and they don't know what's inside that white ball. They see, I'm just going to buy the most expensive ball. I'm going to go and get my
or on the flip, they buy the cheapest, right?
They buy the cheapest ball.
Which I get. Like, I get that because it's a consumable. You're going to lose it and you're going to scuff it up. But you know, if you're that sort of 5-6 handicap, can we get that 10% better performance out of you by maybe switching you to a slightly more expensive golf ball? Data suggests arguably, right?
It's all there. Very, very good. I mean, the next one for us would probably get the cheapest golf ball on the market.
Maybe.
And compare that with your ball, your lowest offering, and say, right, well, actually, I think consistency from ball to ball in the box that will probably be the big deciding factor with it, because we don't know whether it's still the same shape inside, core offset, all sorts of issues. I know that from being a range operator. You know, the range balls, the difference in the core and where it's located is somewhat different.
You start seeing some draws and fades in the same hit.
all sorts of things happening, and you're obviously the quality control, consistency of the make of your golf ball. As with the premium golf balls, you do get what you pay for. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so obviously we've got one of the best guys in the game here, going through the pillars of ball flight, hitting his wedge, showing us the difference between WARBIRD and Chrome Soft for this year, and also the comparison of Chrome Soft
for Chrome Soft
last year. So really good, hopefully informative video for you there, just on balls and the importance of fitting. Okay, so if you can come along, we do fitting events here. We do actually do our main iron equipment ball fitting together in evenings. We do it here at Let's Golf, and I have it at Matt. I'm available daily to do fittings here as well. If you're not anywhere near me in the local counties of Surrey and Sussex, go and see your golf pro, ask them for a ball fitting. If it's something that they don't have, ask them for it. If they've got a launch monitor, they can measure the ball enough to give you the data. We guarantee that if you haven't had a ball fitting, that you're going to find a golf ball and optimize it.
Absolutely,
Whether it be with the driver or with your wedge play or iron,
whatever it might be.
Definitely go and get it checked out, because there's some gains to be had.
Absolutely.
As we know. Thank you, Matt. Enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
Cheers.